Facebook page marketing. One of the most obvious ways to market on Facebook is to set up a fan page for your business, your brand, or your cause. Facebook actively promotes this feature of its website. What it doesn't tell you is the fact that Facebook has been actively modifying its algorithm to the point that you're going to have very popular content for you to reach most of the people who have expressed interest in whatever it is you're promoting. Put simply, not all the people who liked your page will get to see your updates. In fact, in most cases, only a small fraction of those people will get to see your updates. Sadly, Facebook is actively working to limit the free traffic exposure you would get until you can prove to it that your content is really popular with your page's fans. Here are the steps you should follow to market on Facebook. Step number 1, find your competitors on Facebook. The first thing that you need to do is to avoid reinventing the wheel. You need to avoid trying to figure things out on a completely hit or miss basis. Instead, reverse engineer your competitors. Let them do your homework for you. How? Well, find them on Facebook and learn from what they are doing. Step number 2, get the industry standard look and come up with your own take. Every niche has an industry standard in terms of social media profile, brand appearance, and content strategy. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you will be poised to achieve social media marketing success on Facebook. The longer it takes you to learn this, the longer you will struggle. Understand that your niche audience has become familiar with how certain brands or websites are positioned on social media. If they can't make heads or tails of your social media brand, they probably would not like your page. It may seem weird to them because it seems so far off from the industry standard. Your job at this step is to figure out the industry standard look, content strategy, and other elements, and come up with your own take. Step number 3, reverse engineer your competitors' content strategy and curate. Lots of business owners would post hot content on their social media accounts as well as their blogs. Sadly, 9 times out of 10 that content goes nowhere. People don't click on it, share it, comment, or otherwise engage. What these publishers are doing is basically gambling their content would resonate with their audience. Don't do that. Instead, pay attention to what your competitors are doing and look for patterns. If you notice that your competitors keep sharing content regarding the same type of theme or topic, they may be onto something. They wouldn't waste all this time, effort, and energy talking about the same stuff over and over unless, of course, it connects to their audience at some level or another and produced results. Now, to verify this, look at how many times that piece of content got shared or liked. That should give you some sort of objective proof that this content actually resonates with your target audience members. When you reverse engineer your competitors, you are essentially copying their strategy to reach the same eyeballs that you're trying to reach. This also applies to content curation, where you take content that is published by other people and you promote it on your social media platform. This creates a win-win situation because you're not ripping off this content. You are copying the content's link, including a short commentary, and allowing people to click on the link. This creates a win-win situation. The publishers of this content get traffic. You get to build credibility because you're sharing information that your target audience members would actually be interested in, and this leads to the possibility that they would like your page. Once you have built up enough page likes, you can then start sharing your own content, which leads to direct traffic to your website. Step number 4, pick the best performing or most popular type of content and scale up. Post content for a few weeks. Keep publishing, and then look at the content that gets the most engagement. Which shared materials get the most likes, the most shares, the most comments? At some point, you're going to ignore other types of content and focus on the ones that perform the best. For example, if you have a Facebook page on Chihuahuas and you notice that third-party articles on Chihuahua houses get a lot of shares, likes, and comments, you might want to eliminate most other types of content and focus on Chihuahua houses because those get the most love from your audience. Step number 5, come up with your own version. Come up with your own version of winning content. For example, you know that Chihuahua houses get a lot of love and are very popular on your page. Come up with your own articles about that topic. These articles, of course, drive traffic directly to your blog or your online store. These have to be at the same level of quality as your third-party content, or better. Pay attention to how your curated popular content talks about the topic and adopt the same style but deliver something better. Maybe you should offer longer information, more up-to-date information, or blog posts that have multimedia elements like videos and graphics. Whatever you need to do, come up with content that basically blows away all the other content that you feature on your page. Step number 6, promotions, photo tagging by your users. This is a free promotion technique. Tell your page fans that you're going to give them some sort of digital freebie. Maybe it's a graphic badge. Maybe you're going to mention their name on a post. Maybe you're going to give them a free ebook or some sort of free software. Whatever the case may be, tell the people who like your page to tag their friends on photos that you're going to post. Now, these photos, of course, must draw attention to your brand, your website, or your Facebook page. You're not just having them tag a photo. This photo has to say something. It should be promotional in nature. The more photo tags you get, the higher the chance that you will get a lot more page likes and also clicks to your website from Facebook. The best news? You don't have to offer money. In fact, studies indicate that money offers aren't all that effective. It's much better to offer some sort of specialty graphic or digital goodie like a free book or booklet, or maybe a discount code. Step number 7, promotions, comments by your users. Use the same rules as in step 6, but instead of photo tagging, get your page fans to post comments. It would also help tremendously if the comment includes the name of the people on the commenter's friends list. I leave it up to you how to craft this, but obviously, the more tags there are in the comments, and the more engaging the comments, the more popular your posts become. Step number 8, call your users to action. If you have people who have already liked your page, post occasional reminders to them that they should invite their friends. This works because birds of a feather flock together. Seriously, the main reason why you are friends with people in the first place is because they share roughly the same set of interests as you. People who share basically the same pool of interest tend to attract each other. Take advantage of this fact by calling your page fans to action so they can invite their friends. Step number 9, use insights to promote your page. As much as possible, I would go through step 1 to step 8 and master all steps before I go ahead with step 9. With step 9, you're going to be shelling out money to promote your page. After a couple of months, you can use Facebook's very robust audience profiling system called Insights to promote your page. You will know the right demographic, and you will also know the right posts and content to promote. Step number 10, boost your most popular content. Use Facebook's lookalike audience system to find people who are not currently fans of your page. This feature in Facebook's ad system enables you to reach new audiences who share roughly the same interests as the people who have already demonstrated an interest in your page. You're basically using Facebook's very powerful interest targeting system in terms of demographics and interests to get new eyeballs to your page. This can lead to more likes, which can lead to more readers of your content. From that point, you can then run targeted ads. How to optimize your Facebook ad campaigns. Follow the steps below so you don't overthink things and make bad decisions when optimizing your FB ads. Reverse engineer your competitors and come up with a standard model. If you have a personal account, find your competitors and like their pages. Before you know it, you'll start seeing ads either from your competitors themselves or from businesses that are very similar to your competitors. Pay close attention to these ads. Reverse engineer them to find the standard model for these ads. In other words, go through as many of these ads as possible and get a clear understanding of what kind of pictures, headlines, and text they use. Also, if they are mostly promoting posts, pay attention to that. Whatever the case may be, look at what they're doing and see common patterns. Focus on the most commonly used strategies because this gives you the industry standard model. Don't get sidetracked by ads that seem so different, so new or so innovative because if they are so different from the industry standard model, they're outliers. There's a high chance that those ads do not convert. Come up with your own version and test with a low budget. Test with a low budget. You don't want to burn through a tremendous amount of cash during the testing process. There will be a time and place for you to get crazy with the budget, but now is not the time. Create variations and test. Now that you have come up with your own version of the standard model, create variations of it and then run low-budget tests. Do not do this randomly. Do not do this based on your feelings or impulses. Instead, you have to follow certain rules on how to create variations. Otherwise, you wouldn't know which part of the ad accounts for its greater success. I've seen this happen many times. In fact, I've committed this mistake before. I would take an ad and test it. I would notice that it's not getting that many clicks, so I'd change half of the ad. Maybe I change the picture and then the headline, or I would change the heading and the description. Whatever the case may be, I would change half of the ad, and sure enough, it would improve. But when I try to improve things again by changing the other half of the ad, it falls apart. You want to establish a way of effectively tracking which changes accounted for which improvement. By using this method, you can optimize parts that work to reach peak convertibility and then work on the other elements of the ad that could use some improvement. However, you have to do this in a systematic way. I've described this in the section below. Pick the winner and make further variations. Now that you have made variations of the original and you ran a test, there will be at least one winner. It gets the most clicks and conversions. Make variations of it and you run the test again. Keep testing until you find the ad that delivers the best return on investment. The end of this process is pretty straightforward. You keep making variations and you keep testing on the cheap until you find an ad that delivers the best ROI. In other words, it delivers the most conversions while costing very little money. I know it sounds like a fantasy at this point, but it is doable with testing. Scale up. Increase your ad budget to your winning ad to pump a massive amount of traffic to it. You should only do this when you are dead sure that you have a winning ad on your hands. In other words, you have tested it rigorously and have optimized it to the point that it cannot improve its conversion rate any further. That's when it's ready to go big time. Make sure you optimize on an elemental level. The big problem with the ad optimization method I described above is how do you know which part of the ad to change up? How do you know which part of the ad to optimize? Wholesale variations do not work. You can't just take an ad, see that it doesn't work, replace it with a completely different ad, see that it doesn't work, and then repeat that process. Even if you're spending very little money, it still burns a tremendous amount of time, effort, and opportunities. You need to have a better way to turbocharge your results. Vary on an element-by-element basis. I would take an ad, and I would restrict my optimization to a specific element of that ad. Every ad actually has many elements. There's the graphics, the heading, the description, the link. I would start with one element, and I will come up with different versions. The most obvious part is the picture. So I'd play around with the different pictures and see which gets the most clicks. I would then come up with a variation of that picture and see if I can improve my click-through rate. Again, I'm spending very little money here. I just want to see an improvement in click-through rate for that element that I'm varying. Once I have reached a plateau and I can't improve any more on that element, I would then switch to another element. For example, if I'm running a campaign for dog food and I notice that my best performing picture after a series of variations is a picture of a chihuahua that seems to be smiling, I will keep that picture, but then I will then switch to the next element of the ad, which is the headline. I would then keep varying the headline to see if I can improve the conversion rate of that ad. Once I've reached the ceiling or a plateau for improvements in conversions due to headline changes, I then move to the description. Do you see how this works? You know that you have to vary an element if you keep picking the winning variation. You do this with small tests until the whole ad is optimized. After all elements have been optimized, scale up your ad buy. Once I've gotten an ad that converts much better than its original form, and I've gone through all the elements, now is the time to scale up. This is where I pour quite a large amount of cash into my Facebook ad campaign to boost traffic.